Guys, what's up and welcome back to a brand new video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the OurProgress forecast. This is a forecast that obviously is predicting the presidential election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So I've already filled out the map to save you guys the time of just watching me randomly click states. But yeah, this is their prediction. They have a landslide victory for Joe Biden. In fact, him winning in places that I don't think he's going to win, like Georgia, Maine 2nd District, Nebraska 2nd District. They even have him winning, or they even have him come close to winning in Montana, in Alaska, in Missouri, in Mississippi, sort of, in South Carolina, I guess you could say. And they actually have him just barely losing by like 1% in Texas, which is interesting. I'm saying interesting way too much, but this is the map, and I already filled it out so you can see the electoral vote count, but we're going to go in depth with every swing state, starting with Nevada, and I think this is interesting because it tells you every voter turnout and how many registered voters how many voters each party has registered. So you know, Washoe County is the swing county. The Democrats have actually gained there, and they now are overtaking Republicans in registration. But in a state like, or in a county like Humboldt, in the rural areas that are turning to the right, by the way, you have Democrats losing registration. Although that doesn't really matter because these are all rural counties that don't have an impact, whereas Washoe County does. So yeah, Democrats have actually registered a couple thousand less voters, but that doesn't really matter because even if all those voters do go to Trump, or in this case, it's still not enough to flip the state from 2016, assuming all the Democrats who went for Hillary Clinton in 2016 voted for Donald Trump, or vote for Joe Biden. So, in Washoe, Joe Biden is expected to outperform the Democratic Party registration numbers, as Hillary Clinton did in 2016. So this means Joe Biden is favored to win Nevada by about a likely margin, which I disagree with. I think it'll be lean, but hey, we can debate that, and I really think it could either be likely or lean. Probably not tilt, definitely not safe, but yeah. Now going over to the state of Colorado, swing state, 20 years ago, but not really anymore, and it's actually interesting. The Republicans actually lost party registration here, which is bad news for them because Colorado is just slipping away from them. And this is once a red state, then it became a swing state. It's just now a safe blue state, in my opinion. But they give it likely, which is still not good, seeing as this was once a red state. But yeah, I mean, this is not a good sign for the GOP, especially, and I'm going to compare it to another state that has similar demographics, similar voters. That's the state of Arizona. And right now in Arizona, Donald Trump is favored to lose the state that he won in 2016. He underperformed polling there, and again, he's expected to this year. In Maricopa County, they actually put Biden ahead by a likely margin, which is interesting, but the Democrats are down in party registration, so, yeah. Alright, so we're now going to look at the registration, which I think is the most interesting part. Democrats have registered 200,000 new voters, the Republicans only 150,000, which is still a good amount, but the Democrats are outpacing them in Arizona. And by the way, it was on a Let's Talk Elections video earlier. Donald Trump is pulling funds from Arizona, which is not good, exactly. And for the sake of, since we looked at Colorado, let's take a look at Montana, where Joe Biden is expected to lose, but only by a likely margin, which is interesting. And Lewis and Clark County, by the way, is the biggest swing county in Montana. And if you talk about a Democrat trying to win Montana, and Joe Biden's not going to win Montana, but Steve Bullock or Mike Cooney might. Missoula, that's where they have to run up the numbers. Democrats, this is the most liberal part of Montana. They absolutely have to run up the numbers if they don't have a chance at winning in Montana. And they don't. Montana doesn't have party registration, so you can't tell. But yeah, it doesn't let you hit the back button. It's kind of annoying. Alright, and we're gonna go over to the state of Texas, where they have tilt Trump. I mean, it's gray on the map, which means they think it's a toss-up, but Biden's favored to lose a little bit more than Trump. So yeah, and the swing county of Texas, by the way, is Brewster County, where the Democrats, Hispanic turnout isn't great there. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, my friend just texted me. But that's actually big football news for those of you who don't know. I like football. But yeah, Tre'Davious White just got a 4-year, $70 million contract. All right. But going back to Texas, Donald Trump favored to actually win Brewster County, which is interesting, and I think that's going to put him over the top. He's actually favored to win Brewster County by by a little bit bigger of a margin. He wins here, and Texas is a nonpartisan state, no party registration, so we can't talk about that, which I think is by far the most interesting part of this model. So yeah. All right, and we're now going to take a look. Try to speed through this because I have something to do after this. But in Wisconsin, they don't register voters there, but Biden's odds have skyrocketed. So yeah, and the projected vote, Joe Biden is likely to win Wisconsin. I think he's likely to win as well. But interesting, I believe a swing county of Wisconsin, for example, is Door County, which I know is a weird name for a county, but I don't live there, and so I'm not sure how I feel about it. But that's the swing county. Donald Trump ended up winning this by a couple thousand votes over Hillary Clinton. I think Joe Biden's favored to win it this year due to his appeal to the white working class, which is a big group in that county. Now going over to the state of Michigan, Donald Trump did win here in 2016, but it's very unlikely he's going to win again. In fact, he has a better chance of winning Minnesota than he does at Michigan. So if he wants to win one of those states, he has to trade Minnesota for Michigan, essentially, which is not a good deal because Minnesota's smaller than Michigan. File not found. That kind of sucks. Okay, but as we all know, our good friend Trafalgar Group, always registering, always polling incorrectly, try to ignore those polls. They're all outliers, and people really don't need to care about them. But, some swing counties, trying to find, for example, Iona County, Clinton County, which is ironic because because Clinton lost this county by like 20 points in 2016. Just these guys over here, these were Stabenow counties in 2018, and they need to be Biden counties if he wants to win Michigan, which he should be. Because if he loses Michigan, then he's definitely losing this election. Michigan is at this point a solidly Democratic state. All right, now Pennsylvania, I don't believe that they they actually do. The Republicans have out-registered Democrats in Pennsylvania, which is a bad sign for them. But it's still not horrible because Democrats did very well there in 2018. And again, the independents in Pennsylvania tend to skew towards Democrats. So Democrats should be worried about Pennsylvania. They should be focusing on it for sure. And as you can see, party registration in Pennsylvania actually is better for the Democrats than the actual results. But remember, party registration isn't everything, but it is a good indicator. So yeah, Lackawanna County, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Joe Biden has to win Pennsylvania. This is his home state. I don't think he'll have a big problem winning it. I think he'll win it by something like 4.5, maybe 5 points. But yeah, in Virginia, they don't really label that as a swing state, which is interesting. And North Carolina, the biggest swing state of them all, other than the state of Florida. Joe Biden narrowly favored to win. In fact, they have him winning by tilt margin. But, the Republicans have actually done a better job at registering voters than the Democrats have in North Carolina, which is, a bad sign for the Democrats. It's not everything again, but we have to talk about it because Democrats need high black turnout. So, yeah. But who's killing it? Independents. And these independents do tend to skew towards Democrats, and that's why I think Joe Biden is going to win, and I think that's part of their methodology for giving Biden the win. North Carolina. Plus, his strong black support is definitely a key factor there. All right, and we're going to take a look. I forgot about Iowa and Ohio, which are also swing states, despite the fact that they're leaning towards Trump. Donald Trump is narrowly favored to win here, but party registration has been absolutely a disaster for the Democrats. I spoke too soon. I think I was thinking of trends, but since 2016, Democrats have registered many more new voters than Republicans, which is interesting because the state is trending red. Overall, it's a trending red state. This is once a lean blue, then it became a swing state, and now it is a lean red or tilt red in our case type state. Ohio races appear toss-up apparently. I want to see there's no registration numbers because turnout is important in Ohio. In a county like Lake County, for example, or if this lets me pull it up, like the screen randomly freezes, which is kind of annoying. But Lake County, Biden has to win there. He has to also win all these. He has to win Butler. He has to win, not Claremont, but he has to win some of these counties. Like I'm trying to find the ones that they are. He has to hold on to Montgomery, hold on to Hamilton, but he has to do better. He has to run up the score in some of these counties down here. and then and also run up the score up here, and then he can win Ohio. But I don't think that he'll be able to do that. It's a tall order, and at this point, I think Trump's going to campaign in Ohio, and he's going to be able to win it. In Georgia, Joe Biden favored there? I don't think so. I disagree with that. Voter suppression, I don't think they're taking voter suppression into account, but new voters, I get the Democrats are essentially doing a little bit better than the Republicans, actually the same thing, but it's neck and neck, but so I don't think that we're going to see a big enough swing to turn Georgia blue. This year, 2024, we could see a blue Georgia, we could see a solidly blue Georgia by the 2030s, but not right now, I don't think it's going to be a blue Georgia's not a reality yet. Now, in New Hampshire, I'm going to do New Hampshire, then last but not least, Florida. Hillary Clinton, she won a lot of these counties. She won, I believe she won Merrimack County, I believe. I believe she lost Merrimack County, and I also believe she lost Carroll County. But that being said, Joe Biden is not, Joe Biden is not as weak as Hillary Clinton was. And, not a ton of polling data. I mean, the polling data does put Biden ahead, but, I try not to, because polling in New Hampshire has been very accurate, but again, this is the OurProgress forecast. And lastly, we're going to be talking about Florida, the biggest swing state of them all. Joe Biden has a 58% chance of winning here. I believe this is previously in the Biden column, but now at this point, I think it's in the Trump column. Biden's odds have skyrocketed. But, looking at registration, the Republicans are beating the Democrats in Florida. In fact, areas like, say, Orlando getting a little bit redder. Not super red, but it's getting a little bit redder. Obviously, Trafalgar Group is not a reliable poll, but some of these other polls are, taking a look. Change Research, Public Policy Polling, putting Biden ahead. So, I think there was a poll that put Biden ahead by 13 or something. Yeah, Quinnipiac is not a great poll. Yeah. So, that's my analysis. I essentially I disagree with Texas, based on margins. I disagree with Nevada, New Mexico, Texas, Montana, Utah, Indiana, Nebraska 2nd District, Georgia for sure, Florida, as well as the states of Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire, and Maine 2nd District. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on post notifications to get notified every time I post. Check out all the links in the description. I'm not even going to say them. And I'll see you all tomorrow.